Greetings. This is TKTRAV, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. Today's message I wanted to give with a little bit of a story. But first, I just want you to know that if you're really getting into this magic and you're still what you consider a beginner, because I like to focus on beginners, right? I like to focus on people who are just getting into this thing, and I want to try to present them with enough information and enough choices where they can steer themselves in the right direction. So if you're a beginner, I wanted to offer this bit of advice. Consider why you're seeking this information. Consider why you're doing this. Why is it that you want to understand the mechanics of energy and the mechanics of how your thought manipulates the world? Why do you want to do this? The why is very important, because it's the why that's going to carry you through the goal that you're seeking. If you don't have a strong why, you're going to give up when things get hard. Now, I wanted to start it out by saying don't give up, but I think it's more important to focus on your why, because if you hone in on your why, you're not going to give up when things get difficult. Why did I start pursuing this information? I had a burning curiosity. I still do. But ever since I was a child, I've always been extremely curious. And it wasn't enough for somebody to just tell me something. I had to figure it out and understand it on my own. So, of course, in the beginning, I was raised in the church. I was raised Christian. My parents would take me to my grandma's house, me and my brothers and cousins, and every Wednesday we would come home from school, and the church bus would come, pick us up, and take us to the church. And there they would teach us the Bible stories, teach us about Jesus, and we'd sing a bunch of songs. Even back then, I remember asking all these questions that had nothing to do with the Bible per se, but why? You know what I'm saying? I remember asking one of the, what do they call them, the student pastor people, I don't know, asking why the Bible didn't include dinosaurs, right? Why didn't it include aliens, right? What did this mean? What did that mean? And I was always unsatisfied with the answer, because it was never really an answer. It was always something to the effect of, don't worry about that right now, it's not really important. So that probably added fuel to the flames of me needing to know. I remember for the first time buying the MTV CD Return of the Rock, the one with the little red devil sexy lady on the cover, and listening to all these different songs. And I came across Marilyn Manson, of course, and I really enjoyed the music, fell in love with him as an artist, and I bought the autobiography. And this is back in like 99, 2000. And in the biography, I saw words like tetragrammaton, necronomicon, Kabbalah, and all this different stuff. I had to know what those were. So my next step was to go to the bookstore at the time, Books A Million, and I just brought all my little money. I purchased the Satanic Bible. I purchased the Necronomicon. And I purchased a few other books that my parents eventually took from me. But anyways, I bought these things not to join a thought religion or anything like that. I needed to know. I needed to know what other information was out there. I was seeking an answer that I didn't even know what the question was, right? The question was just why, how, why, right? So aside from those books, I also bought a book on comparative world religions, talking about Buddhism and Christianity and Islam and Judaism, and just giving brief synopsises of each of the religions, because I was looking for which one was the right one, which one was the truth. Needless to say, that question 20 years ago is still burning strong within me. And it's not to say that I'm disappointed because I haven't found an answer. The journey is the answer. The journey is the answer. As a living consciousness here in this physical dimension, everything that we do that is a move towards the light is a move towards returning home. Because what I have gathered in those 20 years is that this physical plane is not the last plane. It's not. And deep down inside, you know it's not. Because something in you is not from here. Something in you is from a higher plane. That is life. That is consciousness. And that comes from light. And that is the voice inside of me that's curiosity, that's asking why, how, what's the next piece of information that I can consume to add to my knowledge base, to add to my understanding. That voice inside of you comes from a higher dimension. And our search and our journey is the process of that light spiraling back upward. Because every time you get an epiphany, an aha moment, that's a new piece of light that you just unlocked within yourself. And we keep doing this process, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, until we get as close as physically possible to that light being that we are. And then when we're done with this physical body, we go back home. So it's not really about a lot of the mainstream religions and how they focus on the physical realm. Because the physical realm is not the end-all be-all. This is just where we are. Right? We're put here to experience and to gain information, to gain knowledge. It's an exercise for our light. It's an exercise for what we call the soul. Because as this information spirals through day and night, heartbreak, joy, as we experience all these different emotions, we learn who we are. We figure out who the fuck we are. And as time passes, we unlock more and more of ourselves. And what we find that as we unlock more of ourselves, we seem to have more control over this physical reality. Because the spirit is above the physical reality, and the mind is above the spirit. So the more that we unlock of ourselves, the more power we have over this world. You got to understand, what you have in your mind is what's going to come out into the physical world. If you repetitively think negative thoughts, if you repetitively hold on to self-defeating beliefs, that's what you're going to manifest. So there's going to come a point in your journey, if you haven't been there already, that you're not going to be able to go any further. You're going to keep hitting a wall. And that wall is your thought process. It's your mindset. It's your mental framework. It's a stronghold that you have to crush. Sit down and take a good look at your thoughts. Because you've got certain thoughts that go through your head every day. Look at where you want to be in your life. And if you don't know, now's the time to start figuring it out. But sit down and examine your thoughts and take a good look at the self-defeating thoughts that you have, the negative thoughts that you have. Is there something that you want to do in life, but you feel like you need somebody's approval? Do you feel like you don't have the credentials? Do you feel like nobody's going to pay attention? Do you feel like you can't do it for whatever reason? Write that down. Write it down. Do you feel like you're not good enough? Do you have thoughts in your head about every excuse, about why you're a victim, who did this to you, and why it's stopping you from being where you want to be? Write these things down. And when you have that list of your negative beliefs, of your self-limiting beliefs, understand that you are the power source behind these thoughts. You're the one that makes them real. These beliefs on that paper are mantras that you tell yourself every day. They're mantras that you use to disempower your light, that you use to add more physical weight to your light, pulling you down. And it's pulling you down because it's preventing you from ascending. The light's natural, your soul, its natural tendency is to rise back up. Metaphorically, to rise back up mentally and spiritually by gaining more information, gaining more knowledge, being higher in frequency. Now, self-limiting beliefs are of a low frequency, so it's going to slow down your progress and your growth. You got to let these things go. Look at this list. Now what I want you to do is make a second list. And I want you to think strongly about solutions. to these problems? Do you feel like you're not qualified to do something? Well, then what's the solution to that? How do you get qualified? Do you even need to be qualified? Do you need approval? Or can you go ahead and start? Can you go ahead and start studying and learning and practicing and implementing the things that you learn? Do you think that you're not good enough? Go ahead and answer that question, why? Matter of fact, don't answer why you're not good enough. Answer why you are good enough. Because it's perspective. Who says you're not good enough? Who says that? Either somebody else does, or you are. And if it's somebody else, fuck them. If it's you, you need to rewire yourself. Yes, you're good enough. Yes, you're capable. Everybody is capable of learning anything. All it takes is investing time and investing energy. What you focus on expands. So if you're not good enough at something, start investing your focus in that thing. And over time, watch it expand. Nothing happens like that. Rome wasn't built in a day. Energy is built by momentum. Okay, I mentioned the three worlds. I mentioned the mind, the spirit, and the physical. You have an idea. That's the mind. Now you begin to add energy to it. Adding energy, which is positive belief, which is thinking about it, which is fantasizing about it, that's adding momentum to it. Now the third step is the physical. You start taking action. You start taking action on that thought. You start taking action on that momentum. Now that's really adding stronger momentum. And if you continue this momentum, it's going to build itself. So if there's something that you want to do and you don't know how to start doing it, first you have that positive thought. I can, I will. Now you add the emotion to it. I feel good about myself because I'm embarking on this journey. I see myself in 5 years when I'm a master at this thing. Now take the physical action on those thoughts. What do I have to do to become a master at this thing? I got to study, I got to practice, I got to do X, Y, Z. Start doing X, Y, Z. This is how you create anything. This is the pattern of the universe. This is the structure. This is what the Kabbalah is. This is how you do magic. This is everything. So write down that list of your self-limiting beliefs, then write solutions to those self-limiting beliefs. If you feel like you're a victim and something happened to you, and this is not to take it lightly at all, but I'm saying start today on fixing it. All right, if something happened to you and you feel like that's what's preventing you from doing what you want to do, come up with a solution. Use your creativity, use your imagination, research, figure out a way to overcome that. It's going to take courage, it's going to take strength, it's going to take willpower to move forward. Because if you're not moving forward, you're not just standing still, you're going backwards. Because time is going on without you. And if you're in the same place, you're inevitably pushed back. And that can be a dangerous place. We all have the opportunity to start right now. Everybody does. Whether you're in prison, whether you're in the hospital, you have an opportunity right now. As long as you can take a breath, as long as you can think a thought, you have an opportunity. You've just got to expand your horizons. You've got to open your eyes. You got to believe it. You know what I'm saying? Now be realistic, but also dream big. You know what I'm saying? There's a million things that can be done, but try to temper it with reality. But not too much, because we're capable of anything we set our minds to, especially if you believe that. That's one thing that my father told me and my brothers all of our lives. You can do anything you set your mind to do. And I'm telling you that right now because it's true. You can do anything you set your mind to do. But it takes work. Do the work. Right? Now, the stuff that I talk about, especially about you being light and every move is a step upward to returning to the light, a lot of that stuff comes from Hermeticism. A lot of that stuff comes from the Kabbalah. Now, the thing that I like about Hermeticism and the Kabbalah is that it's not a religion. It's not a one world thought process of this is how you have to do it. No, it's simply an explanation of the different laws of the universe, right? It's not a set of human things that you have to do to belong to this religion. It's a mental science. It's a spiritual science. So of course, as always, I recommend reading the book, The Kabbalion, because it lists the 7 principles that govern this universe, regardless of what you believe, regardless of what religion you proclaim, regardless of what lifestyle you live. These 7 principles are going to happen. You can't change it. Nobody can change it. Everyone is subject to those 7 laws. It's not based on opinion. There is cause and there's effect, right? That's one of the laws. There's laws of polarity. There's a law of gender, right? And the way that these things are explained is in such a way that it's not based on a school of thought. It just is what it is. Now, as I research, I always like to find the source. I don't like to just stop at what somebody told me. I like to keep going. So that's why I love listening to Bobby Hemmett and Brother Panic and people like that, because they always gave books. They always give bibliography. I don't expect you to take my word for it. Please don't. I'm not your pastor. I'm not your Farrakhan. I'm not your leader. None of that. I'm a student just like you, walking right beside you. So I'm going to share the books that I've been reading from. That's why I do that, because the people I learned from did the same thing. So look, not to drag this on any longer, get your paper, write down your self-limiting beliefs, write the solution to your self-limiting beliefs, and then, here's the ritual, take that first list, rip it up, throw it in the trash, because it's no longer real. Right? Now take this list of solutions and look at it every day. Make it into a mantra, make it into new thoughts, right? I am good enough. I am qualified. I am practicing every day. I am is key. I am, right? Right? I am statements with those solutions that you made. And I want you to repeat them to yourself every day for the next month. And I want you to comment, if you can remember, if these things have started to come to pass. All right? Now, if you feel so bold, write down in the comments what you're going to do to change your self-limiting beliefs. What action are you going to take? What physical action? Because remember I said it starts with a thought, then you build the momentum, then you take that action. Leave a comment about what action you're going to take to improve your life, to improve your thought process, etc. You can just write one. You don't have to write them all. If you want to, you can. So, join the Magus Society on Facebook. That's MAGUSSOCIETY. That is where we come together and share our thoughts. We share our experiences. We give tips, information. And again, I stress, just like the last video, how we don't have a lot of the human shit that other magical groups have. There's no drama. There's no trolling. And if there is, we have moderators that take care of it. So don't come into this group if you're a troll and you're just lurking and you're just trying to start trouble. Don't do it. You're wasting your time and you're wasting our time. Now, if you're getting started with this magic and you need some help to accelerate your growth, or if you're an experienced practitioner and you want to help other people, this is the place for you. This is not the place to start a new club of your own or whatever. This is just a, what do you call it? Public square, a gathering of people who have these same thoughts and want to grow and help each other. That's why we're here. You'll find book recommendations and magical tips. You'll find people who have knowledge about different gems and crystals, people who do tarot card readings, people who understand astrology. We're all here to help each other. How wonderful. And it's free. Yeah. So join the Magus Society. Follow me on Instagram at LVX777 because I offer other types of information there through pictures. And shout out to those of you who have donated to me on the Cash App. I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you care to donate, my Cash App is LVX777. So, this is TKTRAV, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. Peace.
Perfect.